Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Cal. Welcome back. I've got another crafting video for you. I decided to make some double elevated cast on crit boots because I'm putting together like this other build over here with Mjolnir, and I'm running out of currency to make this character. It's costing too much because between the Squire, the Mage Blood, and everything else, the Mage Blood my friend has right now, but between all the other items that I'm putting together for this build, I paid like 100x in 3 items. So in three actual like jewels, for instance. It just gets a little costly. So I'm running out of currency, but I just thought I would upload this. I'm going to also put out a video about this build I'm doing. We'll see if it actually turns out to be, worth the effort. I haven't played PoE in about 4+ weeks because I've been playing Elden Ring. So I'm just kind of coming back now and seeing what the market looks like. But let's get into it. These are the boots that I'm going to be going for here. So I have elevated cooldown recovery rate and elevated tailwind, standard stuff for cast on crit. Now, I did want to mention that the way I went about getting these two, I didn't actually craft them the normal or conventional ways. I bought this one for 10 exalts. I thought it was worth buying because if you really look at how you would craft non-targeted mods that you want to elevate, they're a bit tricky. And essentially the way you would go about getting this, you would alteration spam for T1 cooldown recovery rate, and it's a suffix. So you're going to, after that, you're going to craft suffixes cannot be changed, which is a prefix on the blue base. You need to have this mod isolated as it is. And then you're going to go ahead over to the crafting bench here, and then you're going to craft suffixes cannot be changed to exalt craft. So you'll do that. Then you're going to do an imprint. Once you imprint the magic base, you're going to do reforge physical, I believe. Physical works. There might be some other ones I might throw it up on screen, but you'll do reforge on that. Then you're going to use your orb of whatever they changed the name to, but the Maven's orb. You'll use that, and if you hit it, then you're fine, of course. If not, you're going to have to restore the imprint again, repeat the process over and over again. Now, at a 10 exalt price, I thought this was worth it because the overall cost for me to set up this base like this. Now, you can do either Shaper or Crusader. In setting up the base, to me, I was looking at it at about a 6 to 7 exalt setup, including the first Maven's Orb. Now, if that Maven's Orb didn't work, I'd have to buy another one, and then I would be at the 10 exalt essential range that this was at. So I thought, why not? I'll just buy this Shaper influence. It doesn't really matter which influence I go with, whether it's Shaper or Crusader. So just some backstory on that one. I think buying this for 10x was definitely worth it. This was really, really nice to get for that price because if the Maven's Orbs decides they just want to not be 50-50 like they sometimes like to be, crafting these can really end up being super expensive. Last league, when I was doing a build, I ended up, when I was going for double elevated, I ended up spending about 40x just to get to the point of the Awakener's Orb. So it can be really bad. So just always take a look at the market. You never know what you can find. This for 10x was a steal. Now moving on to the Tailwind. This is the same situation. I did not really want to go for Tailwind. I like to buy Tailwind and then I transfer Tailwind over to my actual base. I couldn't really find Tailwind I was not really in the mood to alt spam. I couldn't find Tailwind on the market with another influence mod for Hunter that I could potentially attempt to use the Maven Orb on. But what I ended up doing for these was insanely lucky. So I got two-tone boots. These are only eye level 83. I don't care for T1 movement speed or T1 resistance, really. I'm not... I think I could go for that if I really wanted to min-max things, but I never usually do without proper crafting in the game. So for me, it's just going to be the Awakener Orb and then see what happens. And then I'll try to Ashling after that. But what I ended up doing for these boots was I bought regular two-tone boots. A guy actually invited me for one alchemy for non-influence two-tone boots. Couldn't believe I was getting an invite 2 months into the league for that price. But I bought that. I got a Hunter's Exalted Orb. I slammed it, of course, with an open suffix, because you never know if you could hit Tailwind on the slam. Always nice to see. So I went ahead, I slammed it. Of course, I didn't get it. Then I used alterations, whatever I had. I didn't feel like buying alterations. The next process after that, I was just in a rush, so I chose to chaos spam it because I didn't want to do fossils or buy alterations. Chaos spam, if you can afford it, can be the most reliable way to hit a double influence mod just from using them, because you're rolling the item consistently with about 4 to 6 modifiers. So chances are if you hit Tailwind, you might hit that other influence mod. It's not really worth it for a lot of people, I would say. Is probably better just to do the alt spam, suffixes can't be changed, reforge that I was mentioning on this. The same rule applies on these boots to these. You can do the exact same thing. You can reforge physical. I believe you can even reforge attack. There's an avoid bleed mod that you can hit on Hunter, and I believe it's tagged with 2 things that are reliable for reforging and harvest. So that's what you can do. I was just lazy. I chaos spammed. Now, it took me about 350 plus chaos to see Tailwind for the first time. Now, the first, and of course, luckily when I did that, I did have the Avoid Bleed mod. The first Maven Orb that I used actually elevated Tailwind, which is insane because it only cost me about, let's say, about 3 to 4x. And then the Maven's Orb, so 6.5x to get elevated Tailwind. If you wanted to buy elevated Tailwind on 2-tone boots with a single influence, that means that it's not bricked, it's set up for an Awakener's Orb crafting like this. They go for roughly, right now, about 15 to 20 exalts without any kind of conflict involved in the item, where you can safely Awakener's Orb and see what you get. So that's the backstory on the item. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to walk you guys through some of the stuff I usually do. A lot of people do this stuff on stream, on other videos, but I thought I would, try to see if I can hit something cool here. If the Awakener's Orb is bad, meaning I hit a terrible suffix or I hit triple prefixes, I will have to go to TFT and do Reforge keeping suffixes, or potentially try to clean it in some way. I might have to suffix lock and scour it, or not necessarily scour, but suffix lock and annul, or suffix lock ashling, whatever. We'll see what ends up happening. A lot of variables here. So let's go ahead and see what we end up getting. So first, the rule is always destroy the base that you're not actually intending to use. Your final base should always be what you click last. So let's see what we get here. Now in this case, I got a terrible suffix and I got 3 prefixes. It's really, really bad when this happens. What I was hoping for on the suffixes would be something like a really high resistance tier, like T2, T3 even, or attributes, because since this is going to be a Mjolnir build, I need a lot of strength and intelligence, so attributes like that wouldn't be terrible. Dexterity also probably wouldn't be bad. I do need a little bit of dex. It might free some stuff up, but this is terrible. This is essentially, this is a horrible outcome, and now what I have to do is go to TFT and, try to get Reforged keeping suffixes. Unfortunate that this happens, but what I'll need to do after the Reforged keeping is hope that I hit something good. I would need to realistically hit something like life or 30% movement speed, but I really don't want movement speed because I actually want to ashling and go for cannot be chilled. So the ideal mods for this pair of boots rather, I need life, and then I would ashling, movement speed, chilled, and then I craft on cannot be frozen. The goal is to be freeze chill immune. I'm going for stun immune, potentially curse immune if I want that, and things of that nature. So it's kind of specific. The ashling would need to actually give me what I want. So let's go ahead and I'll go to TFT and see what I can get, and I'll be back in a second. All right, we're back. I actually forgot that I had a Reforged keeping suffixes of my own, so that's nice. I don't have to go to TFT. Literally right after I made the cut, I was thinking I'm gonna just go to TFT, but then I was like, let me check my Horde crafting. So I do have Reforged keeping suffixes here. Sadly, this is required. You just have no choice. There's nothing we can do when the item is locked like this with 6 mods. So Reforge keeping suffixes. And of course we do this. It's not great, but it's something that we can work with. Now at this point, I can suffix lock and ashling, which is really nice. We're actually hoping that it takes off the armor and evasion. We don't want to keep this mod. We also can do suffixes can't be changed, reforge life for a life roll. And that's probably what I will do because it's just the most It's probably the most reliable. It sucks that we can't get rid of this life regeneration. I just need remove life, from the old days would be nice. So at this point, right, I will suffix lock, and then I'll do reforge life probably. I'll do at least one reforge life and see what I get, because I desperately need life on these boots. And then at that point, I can suffix lock again and ashling if I get decent enough life. And by decent enough life, I just mean high enough that would be considered crafted. So if you go to boots, you just type in life. I just need anything in this range, and I would be happy with it because I'm not looking to spend all day on these boots. Just need something really to play the character. So if I can hit 50 to 70 life, that would be fine. And then from there, I ashling and pray that it doesn't take the life off, and then I can unveil movement speed of some kind. So let's go to TFT now. All right, so here we go. We're about to try Reforged Life. I don't know how many of these I'll really do. It's hard to even find people that are selling these, but luckily one guy had a couple people I messaged, they were telling me sold. So hopefully this guy hits something good, because my boots are terrible and I need some kind of life on them. So let's see what he ends up getting. Realistically, probably going to get some low tier of life. And if I get a high tier, I'm going to lose it instantly. So, okay. Well, this is not, it's not great, but it's not great. I don't know why he's saying wow. I don't think it's that amazing, but all right, let's just vouch him real quick. Let's see here. So this is always the problem that you have when you do this stuff. It can be pretty rough. So, all right, cool. All right, so we have some life on our boots now. Now the next step here is to, well, I don't really know actually what the next step is, to be honest, because these are not, like, I wasn't really intending on getting this, hitting double life. I mean, it's basically not enough. I would need to do it again, because I actually don't want to have 2 life rolls. So we're gonna go ahead and do this again, because even if the total amount of life on these boots match what I said I wanted, I'm gonna lose one of the life rolls, and if I lose the hybrid life with armor, then the boots they just have low life. So it's just not worth it. So I need to do this again. Unfortunate. I don't really know if this is the best strat, honestly. I wish I could augment life, but I don't know. There's really no other way for me to try to get life and have an open prefix for cannot be frozen, because I need to craft that. I'm not really sure how I can get, with this tree that I'm doing, I'm not really sure how I can get cannot be frozen. So we'll do another one, and we'll see. Let's see what we get. And this one here is pretty good. This one here is really, really good if the ashling works in my favor. So now I need the ashling to actually remove. This is where it's going to get really problematic. The life on these boots, really great. But I need when I lock the suffixes, I need ashling to take either the armor or the suffix lock. Ideally, I don't want to lose the life. I'm willing to spend the extra 2x. Just please don't take the life. But we all know what's going to happen with this game. This game is very unforgiving. So the next step is to ashling. So we suffix lock again. And now we're going to pray that the ashling, we have a 66% chance to keep the life. Ideally, we really just want to get rid of the armor, of course, but there's really no guarantees with this game. So I'm going to I'll try to see if I can find an Ashling right now, and then we'll be right back. All right, so we're about to do Ashling here. Let's see how depressing this is going to be. If it takes the suffix lock, that's one thing, but if I lose the life, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get over that one. Because just getting it back, it's frustrating, and I also had a good tier, or I have a good tier currently. It's really, really nice life. So we'll see. Let's see what happens. Realistically, it's probably going to be a brick. That's usually what it is. You rarely ever get... Oh, wait, I actually did get lucky. Oh, man. I actually did get lucky. Wow, that's awesome. Okay. I'm usually expecting disappointment when it comes to this game, so... It's just the nature of the way crafting works in this game, but I actually did get lucky there. That actually felt good. Okay, that's awesome. So these boots are probably worth, like, at this point, I'd say... Wait, what was his name? I already forgot the guy's name. I believe did he delete? Okay, Misaki. So these boots are probably worth a lot at this point because what we have here now is the ability to craft on cannot be frozen like we wanted to, which is awesome. So I just need to block. I think there's like one mod that you usually block when it comes to boots. Let me just take a look here. So these are, right, two tones. Let me just take one look here real quick. So this is just something that you guys can also use, by the way. You can always go to Craft of Exile. Now, whenever you're unveiling an item, the mod pool is always down below here. So we know that we're unveiling a prefix. So you would want to block any mod that's just kind of annoying. So I usually like to block like this one here. This is what I was trying to think of. I usually block this, I believe, or I think it's focused, evasion rating while focused. Usually you just try to remove something that's just going to potentially get in the way that can be a little bit annoying. But we're going to see one movement speed craft. This is pretty much guaranteed. I'm looking for cannot be chilled. I know I'm probably not going to get that. Onslaught would be the worst outcome because I already have Onslaught on my... I don't even have alterations. I already have Onslaught on my ring. It's automatic Onslaught on hit. So we'll craft this here. And I have to hope that I get movement speed cannot be chilled. That would be the ideal scenario. I don't know how this... There's really... If I get movement speed cannot be hit, that's also okay. That would be fine. But let's take a look here and see what we end up getting. Of course, I got the Onslaught, which I really just don't want. And this is the problem. Whenever you do this, you're only going to get one movement speed outcome, so it feels really bad. Now, I don't have a choice. I have to take the Onslaught on kill because there's really, like, it would devalue the boots, right, if I didn't take that. So if I take this craft here, the only option for me now, these boots were pretty close to being the most ideal for me. So the only option here, well, what I want to do is to craft... I don't even know if I have... Do I have? I don't even know if I have cannot be frozen. I don't think I do. I think I actually don't have this craft. I think because I stopped doing veiled items. Yeah, I actually don't have cannot be frozen. Okay. So that's what I would be crafting on there. It's a 1 exalt craft. I don't think I've actually even seen Rin the entire time in my betrayal. But this is basically what I was trying to go for. It sucks that I didn't get the actual prefix that I wanted. But if we look at my overall price, I'm sorry. So if we look at the overall price for boots like this, let's just say if we go elevated tailwind and we say cooldown recovery T1, and then we say at least, I like to do at least 60 life just to see a little bit more variety on the boots, and then I say at least 25 speed. The boots are not worth like that much, but I would say they're worth at least 30 or more exalts. Again, at this point in the league, it's really tough. These are the ones that you really want. The movement speed cannot be chilled. His also has a brick suffix just like mine, but he crafted life on. I really need the cannot be frozen craft. So I believe mine is honestly worth a little bit more just because of the fact that I can do cannot be frozen, but maybe not. It just kind of depends. Like this is kind of what I was going for, something like this. I thought about doing Sork boots as well, but this is really what I want. The movement speed cannot be hit recently. It is also fine, but I really just need, I really need the immune to chilled, so that way I'd be freeze and chill immune. Now, I don't really know what to do with these boots that I got because I can craft on cannot be frozen and they'll look really nice. I just don't know at this point in the league, can they even sell? And do I even try to sell them? I probably just use them. It's just kind of unfortunate. Maybe I can find somebody to trade me, someone who needs Onslaught, and then I really need Chill, and we can swap. That would be funny if I could find that. But yeah, these are the boots. So you guys can, essentially see the process of how you go about doing this. I got really lucky on the Ashling that I was able to actually get the keep the life rather. But it is what it is. I don't know if crafting evasion was probably the best option. I know sometimes you can craft mana. I know mana has a higher tier as well, but really they're all 1,000 weight, so I think you're just trying to block one of them. There's not one that you can craft that's actually a higher weight. I believe if you were to craft movement speed, for example, it voids all the movement speeds, so you can never do that. But they're still really nice boots. It's just kind of, they're actually really cool if you're looking to get Onslaught on your build, so I don't know how much these will actually really be worth. But maybe I'll list them and try to make another pair. It's not really worth doing that in my case, though, because I'm basically at the end of the league, and these are good enough. It just kind of sucks because I have Onslaught on hit on my ring. Let me actually show you guys the ring. I don't think I did. So I have this ring, and I paid 30 exalts for the base, and I got lucky with this. I essence spammed because I desperately need attributes to wield Mjolnir, and I have, of course, Fortify on hit on Mjolnir. But being able to wield that weapon, it just requires a lot of attributes. And Inquisitor will give me 50 base on top of what I already have as a starting class. But you really need a lot of attributes. And that's why I have attributes on my small cluster jewels here. I have 14 strength there. I have int and strength on this one. I'm hoping that resistances are even possible because I'm minusing my resistances a lot with Thread of Hopes. So that's why I was really hoping for res on the boots as well, because it would just really help. It didn't matter what res. If I got lightning res, I could change it because I'm doing Doriani's prototype, so I don't really want to have lightning resistance. But yeah, these are the boots. They're still pretty cool for guys that, like any of you guys that really never kind of get into any of the high-end crafting or the higher-end crafting, then, this is what you can essentially make. This really didn't take too much effort. I did get lucky on the Ashling, and we still have at least 2 or 3 useful crafts in the game from Harvest that can allow you to save items like this, because if I had done this pre-harvest, the only option would be to annul the item and then watch as it takes your cooldown or tailwind on the first try. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. This is a more detailed crafting video. Leave a like and comment, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. My name is Cal.